Example of that, bumps of babies, lone parents, teenage parents, inclusion work. We do an awful lot of different types of projects. So the point of kind of saying all this is that, before you get to that slide bit, is that you do work for a really, not necessarily work for, volunteer for, affiliate to, a really large, successful organisation with a very strong base. So, what could possibly go wrong?
Not for me on the buttons.
That's clearly. A lot of our work is impacted by the external environment, and no one's going to be particularly surprised that the first question up there, obviously, is about recession. Is the recession over or not? The $6 million, actually it's not, the £175 billion question, is the recession over or not? That's going to impact on some of the work we do. We get false dawns in the media. A couple of weeks ago we were told, oh no, it's definitely over, it's definitely over. All the figures come out, not quite yet, we are still in recession. Even though Germany, Japan and the United States are officially out of recession, we're still there. So, you know, it's a very uncertain outlook at the moment. One of the big things I always think is that the charity donations have fallen by 11%. Now, we're not an organisation that gets lots of legacies, we don't shake hands on the street, but that type of thing impacts us, because if the public are giving 11% less cash to charities, then those charities that do rely on that are going to be looking for funding elsewhere, and that's where it will impact on us, because they'll be going for some of the similar pots that we then get our funding from. So it does make a difference to us. You can press. Other factors in the external environment which directly relate to our sector: changes to the NEF, for those people who get it, the free funding for 3 and 4-year-olds, the extension to the free entitlement, where you're running a setting, going from 12.5 hours to 15 hours, obviously has an impact on your staffing motives. Can you fit in the flexible sessions that the parents want? And there is obviously a cost implication, because most of the time, the cost, well, the amount per child per hour that we are given from the government doesn't necessarily cover the cost per hour of the childcare. So extending that from 12.5 hours to 15 hours leaves us running at a loss. So there is, you know, it's a big factor, we need to be thinking about it. And obviously everything that's going on with the single funding formula, the consultation, some people are being consulted, some people are not, it's different in every local authority. So those are factors that will affect our external environment. Local authority spending cuts. Local authority spending cuts. This obviously links into the recession quite a lot anyway. There will be public sector cuts wherever we are. Some of the local authority cuts are done very reluctantly, others not so much, but it is a threat. And the general election. We just stop for 2 seconds. Who thinks it is likely, put your hand up please, likely, I'm not asking you what you vote or what you think about it, but do you think it likely the Conservatives will be in after the next general election? I think it is, I have to say. Okay, so if you keep your hands up for a second, and keep your hands up if you know what their childcare policies are. Oh, someone take her name.
No, I don't know the policies, but I have heard that if the Conservatives get in, they're looking at doing away with children's centres.
Now, actually, that is, and I've got an update on that, because I got sent yesterday the transcript from the Children's Families and School, what's it, Children's Schools and Families Committee meetings. Children's Schools and Families, I think it is. But basically, a lot of the questions that were being asked there, they were basically hinting towards, let's have much fewer childcare centres with excellent qualities, rather than lots of them with adequate quality. Quite a few things wrong with that statement. Nothing I can talk about in 10 minutes, because I've been going on for quite a long time. Although, interestingly enough, this is an aside I shouldn't be saying, but never mind, Graham Stewart, MP, who sits on that, Conservative MP, who sits on that committee, is the MP for Beverley. And on Saturday mornings, not every Saturday morning, you probably have to check his website, but some Saturday mornings, he stands in Beverley Market and does sort of open surgery on the streets, so to speak. So if anyone wanted to go and talk to him, he would be there on a Saturday morning to talk about the Children's Schools and Families Committee. Anyway, back to this point, we're not really sure what the Conservative policy is on childcare. If there was a hung parliament, we're even more lost. If Labour remains in place, public sector cuts. So basically, it is an unsettled outlook for our sector, and many others for that matter. However, it is not all doom and gloom. So, our future direction, it is not all doom and gloom, because as I've just pointed out, we have a large organisation, we have excellent quality of all the services we provide, and a very strong and stable base. And we are the experts in the field. And we need to remember that, and we need to be able to show that to other people, and be able to show it properly to other people. So do we do proper monitoring and evaluation of our services? Are we actually responding to what our stakeholders need and want? Which, two different things, it has to be said. So, really, the direction that we're going to be looking at for the next year, I've put this on a national level because we will be following the national level policies, but on a divisional level it can break down into slightly different issues. We will continue to work with strategic partners, such as families, communities, local authorities and the DCSF. Whoever is in the DCSF, assuming it survives, they may decide to change the structure, who knows. But we will continue to work with all those people. We will be continuing to extend our network of childcare provision in the socially deprived and economically disadvantaged areas. On a divisional level, what that probably means is looking at some of our settings and asking ourselves really difficult questions about, do we run them properly? Do we have the right business models? Do we hire setting managers, as an example, with excellent childcare qualifications and skills, and then ask them to be experts in administration and finance? Do we have the right business models to make sure that we're going to have financial sustainability for our settings in what is going to be quite a difficult financial climate for the next couple of years? So that's one of the things we'll be looking at a divisional level and supporting our members with as well. And we're going to extend our involvement in children's centres, both nationally and on a divisional level. We are continually looking to engage with them, phase 1, 2 or 3 for that matter. Some of them obviously haven't been built yet, and we'll be looking at doing some tendering with the local authorities to actually be involved right from the start. Others will be providing peripatetic services to just occasionally, rather than actually running the children's centres or anything else. But we will be doing that in a slow and steady manner, making sure everything we do is financially sustainable. We will continue to extend our training and learning programmes. This is obviously the bit of the training I spoke about before. There is some slight confusion from the Children's Workforce Development Council about exactly what a childcare qualification will be, which ones will be relevant. Anyone who currently has a level 2 or 3, we think will still have a level 2 or 3 in a year or two's time, but we're not entirely sure. So there's going to be some clarity on working out around that. We'll make sure that we support all our members so that they know exactly what's going on as it happens. And then we will be extending our own training and learning programmes to make sure that we're working with those new guidelines and framework from the CWDC. We will be extending our apprenticeship programmes, which actually right now only happens in the South Division, but we will be rolling them out over the North Division. Effectively, people know what apprenticeship programmes are, don't they? So we'll have actually apprentices and be able to train them up in a preschool learning way to make sure they're actually producing, well, they've got good training and producing high quality work. We will continue to support our settings through reflecting on quality. I've already spoken about that. And we will continue to provide support and advice and increase our membership where we can. We will also increase our charitable reserves. That comment usually has to be on the end of everything we say about future direction. In the current financial climate, I think that's going to be quite a difficult thing to do. But we will continue to make sure we try and do that so that we have got cushioning against the financial future, and also we're able to support services in the socially and economically disadvantaged areas, which really is the purpose of what our charity does. Sorry, next one please. And we're also to continue to develop cutting edge and innovative practice in all areas of our work. That's really about looking at our services and saying, okay, we know we're really good at these, but are we doing them the best way possible? Is it exactly what our stakeholders want, as I said before? Is there a better way of being able to do this? An example might